We live in a world where anything is possible, but not everything comes in easy or as planned for everyone. Dreams, aspiration, and hard work is all good. We all do that. Everyone dreams, aspires, and takes action. But we forget to attribute one essential element in this whole process. Now, some people call it luck, some people call it chance. I like to call it randomness. Or, in words of Nassim Nicholas Taleb, probabilistic outcome of random events. But what does it mean to be random? If something doesn't have any recognizable pattern and is thus unpredictable, then that's called random. But let's back up for a second. Why am I suddenly talking about randomness today? Well, if there's one thing that I'm slowly but surely realizing is the hidden role of chance in life, and today I want to emphasize on that. Let's go back a year. Today is 3rd March, Wednesday, 2021. I'm currently working as a freelancer. I'm pretty much done with working over here, living in this apartment. So my freelance career was getting by. I was hanging in by a thread, but I wanted more. I wanted to escape mediocrity. And I was thinking about going abroad like most people do. US, Canada, Australia, didn't really matter as long as I could secure a permanent residency and be able to get a job somewhere. But there is this ancient proverb that I think goes like, wherever you go, there you are. But my 2020 self was all about escapism. I thought if I could escape this place, I would be on my path to greatness. I could do big things, achieve, work for big companies, and I would have a better lifestyle, at least. So in May of 2021, after months of preparation and back and forth between numerous offices for documents collection and approval, I finally lodged a student visa application for Canada during the lockdown. And now all I had to do was wait, and I waited. I was so sure that I would be getting a visa. I ended up packing my bags and moving back to my hometown with my parents because I thought, well, I got a couple months. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and months turned into more months. Who's writing all these lines? I was starting to feel a little bit frustrated for just waiting for something to arrive that would come in my favor. I just saw someone who applied on May 13 and got their responses on Facebook, so I don't know, I'm excited. It feels like it's gonna happen anytime now. Yeah, just gonna log right now to IRCC and see. May 15, we'll send you a message once the final decision has been made. Yeah, no response as of yet, so keep calm and be patient, and hopefully you'll get a response soon. But sometimes I could not help but second guess my own decisions. I had all the papers, I had a good academic history, I had a perfect language score. I'm a software engineer by trade, and tech is in demand everywhere. And some of my friends with similar background already made it there. So I believed I had a quintessential application. Always wanted to say that word. And I was even so confident that I would get a visa. I started the course, which started back in September of 2021. I thought, what could possibly go wrong, right? Everyone said I had 100% chance. Now pay attention, because I did not back then. 100% is still a probability that doesn't accommodate black swan events. And you may now ask, what the hell is black swan? To understand black swan, I recommend you to read this 400-pager. For anything to be a black swan event, it needs to fulfill 3 criteria. The first one is, it needs to be an outlier, meaning no data in the history should be able to predict a black swan. Something that cannot be simply predicted because it hasn't happened yet. Take the literal example of black swans. Before the discovery of Australia, people in the old world believed that all swans are white. No one could even think, imagine, or consider a possibility of a swan being black. That is, of course, until they discovered Australia and they found there are swans which are colored black. So try imagining a purple cow right now. You can't, right? Because there's no such thing as purple cow. You haven't seen a cow that is purple yet. So you could not really blame anyone back then for not thinking or guessing or considering a probability of a swan being black, because no one ever saw one. The second criteria for a black swan event is it needs to have an extremely positive or negative impact to the bearer. Assassinations, world wars, market crashes, 9/11, pandemic, being let go from a job. These are negative black swans for people who didn't see it coming and suffered the most. It wasn't a black swan event for the people who were already planning for it to happen. And the third criteria is it's perfectly explainable in the hindsight. Our minds need a cohesive timeline with cause and effects explained in and perfect order, because that gives us a sense of control over our otherwise random lives. But wait a second, why are we talking about black swan events and my visa application? After 8 months of waiting, I finally got a mail on my inbox from IRCC saying they have a response. I was so damn happy, and I was damn sure that I would be getting approval, so I didn't even bother to check it then and there. I think I was out and in the middle of something, and I came back happily to my room and casually checked it. But that's when the ground beneath me shattered and I felt like I was hit by a truck, or I didn't feel okay. It was sheer amount of shock. The thing is, my study visa application for Canada got rejected, and not once but twice. I thought my application was perfect, you know. I'm a software engineer, so I had a decent education history, I had employment history, I got approved from the college where I wanted to pursue the course, I got approval from my own government as well, so everything was going in as planned, and everyone kept saying that I had a 100% chance, remember? Yet, I still got rejected on the grounds that my pursuit of education at this point in time is unreasonable to the visa officer. I was fooled by the sheer randomness of the life. I wasn't rejected on a factual ground saying I don't have enough scores or I don't have enough financial stability, or I was simply rejected because, and that is a black swan event for me and my life, because I could not see it coming. It had an extreme impact in my life, and now that it happened, I think I have an explanation for why it happened or how it happened. And I never had seen a black swan like this before. But this was the first time ever I tried something and failed badly without having the slightest hint of failure up until the last moment. And this is a feeling that I very much despise and had a very, very hard time processing it at first. I couldn't help but feel as if some random person at a random place has this enormous amount of control over the next phase of my life, and such a simple looking binary decision could flip my life upside down. But he who presents the problem also has the solution. Not me, you duffer, Mr. Taleb. Introducing Anti-Fragile, things that came from disorder. When I was back in my hometown, I had a lot of time in my hand, and so I ordered The Black Swan. I really enjoyed reading this book, and during the same time I was also interested in his other books, so I ordered a bunch of his other books as well. So when I was reading about Anti-Fragile, the first page hit me like in a way that I cannot even describe. The book begins with this statement: wind extinguishes candle, yet energizes fire. You want to be the fire and wish for the wind. And when I got my rejection, I couldn't help but connect the dots. I felt as if I've been living my whole life as a fragile being, where rare events such as a black swan can cause more harm to me. And I think it's widespread and applies to a lot of us, hence why I'm making this video, so that I could hopefully spread the message. Nassim's suggestion is to be anti-fragile and position yourself in such a way that you gain from disorder and randomness. And I'm nowhere close to being an anti-fragile yet, mildly robust at best. I know it's easier said than done, but here's the blueprint, and I now know where to head next and how to achieve. Taleb's writing is definitely something difficult to plow through, but his ideas are superior and are worth reading. Over the course of this year, I am going to apply a lot of what I have learned from these, and I hope to share my journey over here with you all. My hope is to bring more insights like these from my own set of experiences, and hope it helps you to become anti-fragile and not be fooled by randomness and be able to tackle black swan events whenever they come in your life.